Hello friends. Now let us take up the concept number 12, 10.12, constructor overloading. Already I told you many times, constructor is nothing but an initializing method. Virtually it is an initializing method, but we don't call it as a method because it's a standard method created by the language. Methods and all that, some difference is there. Return type is required and all that. You can give whatever name uh, you want to give according to your wish. But as far as constructors are concerned, what are the standard elements? No return type. Number two is the name of the class should be the name of the constructor. This type of some restrictions are there, already explained to you. But treating it as initializing method is nothing wrong. Actually, in the 6th chapter, I introduced one concept called method overloading. Method overloading is a polymorphic feature. What is polymorphism? One interface, multiple forms of implementation. Then I gave you two very important real life examples. The first one is household mixie. Household mixie, one type of equipment, one equipment, and you are able to use it for multiple purpose: wet grinder, dry grinder, scraper, juicer, etc. by changing the blades. One interface, multiple forms of implementation. In the same manner, one more example also I give you from real life: a tractor. You call it as a tractor, but changing its annexers, you can use it as a carrier, as a pump, as a generator, harvester, cultivator, digger, breaker, etc. and all that. So one interface, always you call it as a tractor, whatever may be the annexer. Then it is implementing different types of jobs. That is polymorphic feature. Once again, you remember that one interface, different forms of implementation is called polymorphism. This is one of the core characteristics of object oriented programming. So already I explained it in methods, method overloading. Now constructor overloading, same concept. Now we are defining different types of constructors. Same constructor. Constructor means what is the basic condition? The name should be same. The name should be same with the class member. So even if you define half a dozen constructors also in a class, what name you have to give? You must give, if it is a room, you must give room only. You cannot change that. But the list of arguments, the list of types of arguments can be changed. One example I tell you. If you are a teacher, in your classroom, three student names are common, like Mohan. There are three students in your class who are named Mohan. Then how you can call them? Just think of A Mohan, K Mohan, S Mohan. So the names may be same, but their initials are different. By that, you never face any problem. By using initial, simply call Mohan, problem is there. Then K Mohan, A Mohan, S Mohan, there is no problem. In the same manner, here you see, I have defined four constructors. All name is, all the constructors names are room 7, room 7, room 7, 7. That I have no choice at all. Then now list of arguments you see. Here no arguments. What type of constructor it is? You have to call it as user defined default constructor. Okay. Thereafter, one constructor you have given. Here only one argument is there, int length, only one argument is there. And here length and breadth, two arguments are there. Here length, breadth and height. 3 arguments are there. Why? What is the use of writing 4 constructors? Actually, once you develop software, then the same software you can give it to many of the clients using for the same purpose. Okay. Then if you do like this and all that, some constructor, some client may use default values. He wants only default values. Then you can use that. Some other client may give value for length, remaining things default values. Then you can satisfy him. Third client, you would like to give values for explicit values for length and breadth. For height's sake, you would like to depend on default value. Fourth type of client, all the 3 values he wants to give on his own. Then this is the thing. By this, there are no other alternatives. With reference to this program, room class, there are no other alternatives. So, clients need not compromise because of your software. You may give it all the 4 types of clients. Same software, you can give it to all the 4 types of clients. Your job is very easy. Understand? You need not customize it for everything. It is a generic program. It satisfies all the customers. Okay. That's why method overloading. Now you are calling here. You are calling the method. Calling the method. Now you see here. Now which is connected? Now 4 definitions are here. Here 4 types of constructor calls are there. Now how they are matched? How they are matched means depending on the list of arguments. So if you call this, which is executed, this is executed. If you call this, that is room 2, what you have given? You have given only one argument. Only one argument. Which definition, which constructor definition is having one argument? This one. And come to this, you have given 2. Which is connected? Which is relevant? This. You have given 2. Here you have given 3 values. Then which is connected? This is relevant. Here 3 arguments. This is almost similar like A Mohan, K Mohan and S Mohan. There is a confusion. So depending on the list of the arguments, the corresponding definition is connected and executed. This is the great advantage of using constructor overloading. Okay. So this is the purpose. In this manner, you can satisfy all types of clients. They have freedom. So one client only, suppose one client, in one situation you may use this, other situation you may use this, other situation you may use this. Any situation you can face with this. Okay. Now let us come to implementation. This is my constructor overloading. Constructor overloading means, once again I am telling you, one interface, different forms of implementation. Now we see for all of them only one interface, names are same, and implementations you see here all zeros, here only one you are implementing. For the remaining things you are depending on the default. Here 2 you are implementing, here 3 you are implementing explicitly. Now here what you see, which constructor you called? You didn't give me any argument which is matching the default constructor. This one is 1, this is match. Then you are writing, then which values are coming? Briefly I have written L is 0, B is 0, H is 0. Next one R720. Then which is this? You feel like this is a switch. One switch you put on. Which machine is operated? Here 4 machines are there. Which machine is compatible with this? Which machine is addressed? This one. Then as a result of that, What result you got? L20, you passed L20, B0 and H0. So now same code you write, then L is 20, B 0, H is 0. And you call the third one R3. This is the constructor. How many values are passing? 2. Then if you feel it is a switch, which machine is operated? This here 2 is there, this is operated. The third machine, third constructor is executed. As a result of that, what you are getting? L is 20, B is 15 and H is 0. And now let us come to fourth. Fourth R4. Now 3 values you pass 20, 15, 12. Now if you feel it is a switch, you switch it on. Then which constructor should be executed? This is compatible 3. Then 4. Then in turn it is executed. As a result of that, you are writing the same thing here. Now L is equal to 20, B is equal to 15 and H is equal to 12. This is actually in C++ it is called function overloading. In Java it is called method overloading. As I told you, constructor is also virtually a method, initializing method. Of course, we should not call it like that, but the same capability is applied. And you must remember that C does not have this capability. C does not have does not implement functional overloading. Functional overloading is an object-oriented concept, and C++ it is there, and thereafter Java, the name of method overloading, in the name of constructor overloading, we can implement this polymorphic concept. Polymorphism. Poly means multiple. Morphism means forms. Multiple forms. One interface and multiple forms of implementation. And once again, one thing I have to tell you, in most of your interviews, you are asked this question. Don't simply depending on coding. Coding and all that people cannot understand. You explain the concept. Parallelly, I am giving you the examples from real life. Such type of examples, if you give and all that, 100% you can satisfy the interview board, because they may hear these type of examples for the first time, because all these examples are my brain children. You never find anywhere. So by this way, if you are conceptually good, then your self confidence is improved, it is multiplied, because code you cannot explain, code can be implemented, concept can be explained. Concept you have to explain and all that. Simply if you depend on technology, only technical terms, you cannot convince others. So always take the recourse of a real time example. Then by that, for every computer concept, I can show you a real life example. And if you think in this angle, you can get many examples. Always think of it. Then you can impress the interview board, and you will become a good teacher also at the same time.